What's going on, YouTube fam? This your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and to get all the details in the case. If you're new to the fam, be sure to subscribe. Hit that notification bell for future uploads. Let's get right into the story. Robberies or hitting licks. It's unfortunately a way of life in some environments. Whether it's calling the grass man, telling him to bring a few zips and then taking it, or seeing somebody at the corner store with a pocket full of money and making a move on them as soon as they come out. But the thing about being a robber, you just never know how a situation will play out. We hear all the time of licks going wrong, shots fired, either at the target of the plot, innocent people, or sometimes even the stick-up kid himself gets hit. I definitely know firsthand how shaky of a career being a stick-up boy can be. In your head at the time, it seems like easy money. But when you put people in a fight or flight mindset, it might not go as you plan. And an easy couple of dollars can cost you serious prison time and someone in their life. I remember being a teenager, calling delivery drivers to a vacant house and making our moves. It seemed smart at the time. Fortunately for us, no one lost their life. And today on Hood Tales, I will be taking it to Indianapolis, Indiana, where a phone call for a simple lick turned all bad for 3 people involved. According to sources, when on November 3rd, 2015, a phone call came in to an Eastside restaurant called China King. It was just a regular night. On the other end of the phone, someone was ordering. An order of General Tso's chicken, 2 orders of wings, fried rice, and sodas. On duty at the time was the driver that night, 27-year-old Mark Miller. The food was going to some apartments by the 2200 block of Winsong Drive. Allegedly, as Mark pulled up, it was a little after 9 p.m. A group of people were hanging outside. It was a few days after Halloween, so when a man saw a few people with masks on their face, he didn't think too much of it. But as Mark noticed the scene and peeped the vibes, it was clear something wasn't right. So he decided to stay in the truck before a man approached the vehicle. Mark saw the person had on a mask and a gun in his hand. Eventually, the gunman noticed Mark was about to exit the vehicle, but quickly closed the door once he saw him. The driver put the car in reverse and tried to take off before shots was fired, hitting him, sending the man crashing into a nearby apartment. Witnesses called local police. As they responded to the scene, police found Mark, unfortunately, unresponsive in his black Ford truck and gone at the scene. As an investigation started, witnesses to the shooting told detectives they saw a group of people hanging on Winsong by the apartments, and 2 of them put masks on their face just seconds before the shooting. But detectives felt as though the quickest way to track down suspects was to call the China King restaurant and talk to the owner about the phone number for that delivery. The owner told police that same number called days earlier, on October 30th, and placed the order to an apartment in the 9700 block of Shoreline Lane, and everything went good. Police quickly went to the address to find a 25-year-old man named Peter Hutchins Jr. and a 17-year-old woman named Cherry Williams. Authorities realized the apartment was leased in Peter's father's name, and as they were invited in to talk, one of the police dialed the phone number that was used to place the food order. When a cell phone on the coffee table in the living room of the apartment started to ring. As the 2 was questioned, it came out that Peter was allegedly a high-ranking member in the Bloods, and some say the 2 were in a romantic relationship. Detectives were told that the driver pulled up, quickly saw something was wrong, tried to pull off, before allegedly Peter opened fire on the truck. Inside the apartment, a .380 Cobra handgun was found in the freezer, and outside, a Michael Myers Halloween mask was found in the trash bin. The 2 were both taken into custody on murder charges, attempted robbery, conspiracy to commit robbery, and other charges. Terry, who was only 17 at the time, was charged as an adult, and the 2 both sat with no bail. As the case made it to trial, at first Peter's attorneys painted the picture that it was in fact a plan for a robbery. But as Peter approached the truck, Mark started driving, dragging him, and that's when he shot. But eyewitnesses quickly stated that wasn't the case. Prosecutors painted a picture of a gang leader that used a young lady to set up a robbery. And when it didn't go as planned, Peter allegedly shot. With all the evidence, Peter eventually pled guilty of all charges and was sentenced to 75 years in prison. Terry would get a break, as she pled guilty to conspiracy to commit robbery and was sentenced to 14 years, with 756 days time served. Rest in peace to Mark. I send my prayers and condolences to his family. Moral of this story, don't let false hopes of a quick dollar make you crash out. They was caught before it even happened. From the mask, the same phone number they used a few days before, the gun in the freezer. That's the thing about robbery. You never know how it will play out. In this situation, a life was lost and no money gained. Just decades in prison to think about what you could have did right. So remember, we gotta succeed, not to fail. So we won't be just another hood tale. Man, it's a crazy story. And when I looked at the article, Mark People was saying that he already had just quit a restaurant because he wasn't feeling safe. Then the owner of the China King had got robbed and jumped in front of the restaurant like 2 days before. So when he went to the location and he peeped what was going on, his senses probably already was up because of what was already going on in the area. So he was about to get out the car, then he decided not to. He closed the door. Then allegedly he tried to take off, and that's when shots was fired. They say Peter walked up to the car and demanded the money, but when he seen he had a gun in his hand, he tried to take off, you know what I mean? Like I say, that fight or flight mentality. His people say Mark was like a local musician. He was trying to like do music and stuff like that, you feel me? So he was on track to doing something else. He wasn't even really trying to work in the restaurant game, man, but that's how it be. And he had just quit a restaurant days before because he didn't feel safe, man. So, you know, people know what they know. People feel what they feel. But at the end of the day, man, it cost him his life. Cost dude 75 years in prison. Cost a young lady 14 years of her life, man. But y'all already know this is another episode of Hood Tales. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. This your boy Tony 2 times. All love, fam. Let me know what y'all think about this one in the comments. I'm out.